So, well done, we've drawn our base up. We're now going to look at drawing our upright piece onto Onshape. So, this is where we started off last time. What I'm going to do, just before we start our new part, if we go to this icon at the bottom that says Part Studio, if we right click it, we can actually rename that, just to make it easier for ourselves. So we're going to just rename that, that drawing base, and then we're going to start our upright. To create a new drawing, we're actually just going to click on this little plus symbol down the bottom where it says Insert New Element, and then we go up to Create New Part. That'll then bring up as a new Part Studio. So again, we do basically the same sort of thing or similar thing that we did on the first one. Always start off with a sketch. Again, we're going to select a plane. This time, because obviously our upright is sort of basically on that front plane, we're going to start sketching onto that front plane rather than the top. So I'm going to hover over, left click, and again, I tend to like to draw straight on, so I'm going over to this icon, so I've got to draw it square on, and then I'm going to click on the centre rectangle again, and then I'm going to start in the origin, left click, and drag out our piece. Once we've done that, click on the dimension tool, hover over the line you want to dimension, left click, drag out that dimension, and we're going to change this one to 300 millimeters. As you can see, increased on screen, so we've got to zoom out, so just use your middle mouse button, your wheel mouse button. We're then going to dimension this width. So the width of that bottom piece is going to be 44 millimeters. Once we're happy with that basic sketch, we can tick the green box, and then we're going to extrude that piece. Brings up that same one. Again, I'm just going to rotate it around so you can see this happening. So again, that's just using my right mouse button. Again, little blue box tells me I've got to do something, so select the sketch. So I go over, hover over the sketch I want to extrude, left click. Again, it gives me that little preview. And again, we want to change this thickness to 20 millimeters. So once we've done that, click on the little checkbox again, and we've then got our basic upright drawn in. You'll have noticed on the original drawing it's actually got a hole at the top all the way through our upright piece, so we're going to draw that section on next. So again, go to sketch. Again, this time we're going to hover over and we're going to try and draw on this side panel. So again, hover over it and left click, creates a new sketch plane. Again, I tend to like to draw on it straight on or square on. Just going to zoom in on that top piece. And to draw a circle, we're just going to go on to center point circle. And you'll see, I could draw it anywhere, but if I go on the top line, you'll see when I get to the middle, it automatically draws a box. I'm not clicking anything here. And then if I drag down from that box, it basically finds the midpoint of that top line, and I can draw a circle that's exactly on the centre of this piece of wood. So again, it saves a bit of time dimensioning things. So I'll drag out a circle, dimension that. We're going to dimension that to 6mm diameter. We're then going to measure it down as well, put a dimension down. So hover on the top line, left click, hover on the centre of the circle, drag out our dimension, and our hole wants to be 10mm down from the top. Again, that's already dimensioned, so we don't need to worry about it being in the middle because we've inferenced it from that top. Click on the green tick, and then we extrude again. Again, I'm just going to rotate around so you can see. Once we've done that, we then want to remove material like we did on the first one. So click on remove, hover on the inside of the circle. Again, it does our little preview, and again I'm going to change it from blind. Click on that little arrow and change it to through all. So you'll then see that we've got a hole that goes all the way through our wood. So, we're not far off on the end. What we need to do is on the back of our upright piece, we've actually removed what was called route out on a piece of wood, a groove that runs all the way down the back. That allows our electrical cable to run, and then it runs onto our LED strip. So we're going to draw that on next. So I'm just going to rotate it around so I can get onto this top plane. Again, create a new sketch, select the top plane, and again I'm actually going to do it on this 3D one, it's quite easy. Again, center point sketch. You'll see again if I hover over it, because I want it to be on the middle. So I'm going to start on the midpoint of that line and just drag out a box. Again, you can see it's sort of half on, half off. That's fine. Obviously, if there's nothing there, it'll ignore it anyway. But we're then just going to dimension. Again, this time, rather than dimension the line, I'm actually going to dimension the parts from there to this line. So I'm going to select the end point. So you can see I can select a corner, and then I'm going to select this edge. And I'm going to then put that at a distance of 6 millimeters, that groove. I'm then going to dimension this line because I want to do the thickness. And again, the thickness or the width of that groove that we route out is actually 12.5 millimeters. So that's all. Again, we don't need to worry about this bit. It'll just remove that section here. So that's all the dimension we need to do. So click on the tick box. Again, we then want to extrude that. We are removing material, so select remove, and then we're going to select. Again, you'll see that it sort of knows that I can't do anything there. So I'm just going to select that internal rectangle, sorry. And again, I want to go a groove all the way through. So I'm going to go all the way through that piece of wood. Again, you can see that on the preview. Done that, so click on the tick box, and that's our groove done all the way down the back. Last little bit we're going to do is we're going to put a little radius on this edge here, round over this top edge. So to do that, I'm going to click on the fillet icon. Again, it asks me to select the edges or faces you want to fillet or round over, so I'm going to select that edge. I'm also going to rotate round and select, zoom in a little bit, select that edge and that edge. And again, I need to just change that because it defaults to 5mm. We actually want that to be a 10mm fillet or 10mm radius on the top there. So we end up with that. Once we've done that, click it. Again, that's that section done. Again, I'll just use the zoom to fit option. So we've got that. All we need to do is then change the colour. So double click on the appearance panel, double click on the colour, change it to our wood looking colour, and then minimise it. Once we've got to that stage, we're just going to rename, so right click and rename it as upright.